not be able to see what folks are saying in the chat if anybody joins. My process of making a V60 or a Chemex pour over. Gotta use some filtered water. Let's get the kettle going here. I'll go ahead and make our filter, fold our filter up. I am doing this with the camera on my chest, but maybe in the future I'll set it off to the side. So I'll get my pure filter ready to go, get it rinsed out once my water comes up to temp. Thicker end of my filter over here. While that's getting up to temp, I'll get my coffee ready. Use 40 grams of this light roast Ethiopian from a local roaster. It's roasted a little more than a month ago now, so I do have another bag of this that was roasted more recently, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this one knocked out. So we're gonna use 40 grams here. Boom, on the dot, on the money. Go ahead and create the seal. So in the fellow Atmos container, when you see the green here, that means you have a good seal. And there's not a lot of coffee in there. It makes it tougher to make that seal, but you can see there. We do have the sealed button has fallen in. All right. So something I like to do. First things first, I like to use a shaker cup for this. And then I do RDT my beans just to make sure I can limit the static. Thanks for being here, everybody. Oops, dropped one or two. All right, so let's open up our grind size a little bit. That's going to be helpful here. This is the V Simple grinder on Amazon. Super cheap grinder on Amazon, but really does an excellent job for pour over all the way up to espresso. I have not regretted this purchase at all. So go ahead and get some coffee grinding. Good morning, everybody. Hope folks are doing okay. I am from the United States. Apologies, it's a little tough for me to read comments right now. But I'm from the United States. I live in a place called Delaware. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. I love espresso. Gotten into espresso since the holidays in about December time frame, January time frame, and since then I've really branched out my interest in coffee to pour over coffees, lattes, obviously cappuccinos, anything that you use espresso for. Apologies, sorry. Making a mess here. Just want to make sure that I have enough room in my catch cup. We've almost ground all our coffee in there. Beautiful. Nice. This is a blind shaker, so this is going to enable me to ensure my grounds are nice and homogenized. So They all go in here, shake around for a bit. So I am heating up some water over here. So I'll talk a little bit about my coffee setup. So for this, I'm going to use a light roast. Hey, thank you. Yeah, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. This is my first live video for coffee. I'm used to doing live videos for other things like streaming and gaming. As you can see, I do make espresso as well. Got a ton of little gadgets over here for espresso and different types of coffee. But yeah, for today, we're going to make a pour over with our Chemex. So thanks for being here, folks. Appreciate you. If there's any questions that you guys can ask that I might not be able to get to, my wife is in the chat, Karen Sevilla, so she can help to address any little concerns. So what I'll do is while this is heating up, as you can see, I'm trying to get to a temp of 205. I'm sitting about 90 degrees right now. I'm going to go ahead and just give my paper filter a little rinse with some hot water. That will help to just heat up my Chemex filter. Thought I turned my kettle on when I first started the video, but I did turn it on, I just didn't turn the heat on. So the reason you want to rinse this paper filter is apparently it gets some of the paper taste out. Also help to heat up my brewer a little bit. It's a good thing. Sorry, you will hear my daughter in the background a little bit. We're almost up to temp here. Go ahead and dump this water out. So now that we've got that all rinsed, and get ready to brew some coffee. So I do have this Normcore blind shaker, if you will. I like to use this. $40 grams of coffee in on a 1 to 17 ratio. It's going to be 680 grams out. So first step in the process is going to be what we call a bloom, where I'm actually going to pour in about double the original weight of the coffee that I started with here, just to start the process of extraction. It's the first pulse of water that hits the bed of coffee, so it's very important. Everything looking good there. Go ahead and tear our scale out. And we're almost there. So what we'll do is we'll start our bloom. It'll take about 60 seconds total that we'll spend doing that. We're just going to focus on the bed of coffee while we're doing that. We're not going to be on the paper. We're going to start in the center here, start to pour. We're going to pour, like I said, double the starting amount, so about 80 total grams of coffee, and we're going to allow that to sit for 30 to 60 seconds, depending upon how we feel in that moment. And we're we're ready. So let's start the bloom. Again, we're on double the weight of the coffee that we started with here. Starting in the center, swirling our way out. Being careful not to touch the paper if I don't need to. There's 80 grams. I'm going to start the timer here. So we got 80 grams of coffee, and as you can see, we're starting to get some drips here. So we'll give this 30-second bloom, and then we'll pour in 200 gram or 250 gram increments up to our 680 total volume, and then we'll have coffee this morning. So good deal. We got 30 seconds. So I'm going to start again in the middle. So the circles in the middle, spiraling outward. 250 plus 80 is 330. So we're going to pour to 330 grams. Allow this to work its way down. Notice I'm pouring from a little bit of a height just to break up the coffee or the water as it trickles in. Boom, 330. We'll wait a bit, allow that to settle in. We're pouring to a total of 680. So next pour will be to 580. And then the final pour will be to our final amount of 680. What you'll see is on the second pour, I'm going to give it a nice swirl just to ensure that we got a nice even extraction. For those of you just joining, thanks for being here. This is a light roast Ethiopian coffee that I typically will run through with espresso. It's getting a little older now. As you see, the roast date was back on Valentine's Day 2/14. So time to use what I have left of this. It's about 4 weeks out now. Get ready to start a fresh cup of coffee. Fresh bag of coffee, excuse me. So we'll give this a tiny little swirl just to help that extraction along. So in the Chemex brewer, you kind of want to see this happen in a total of like 5 to 6 minutes. In a smaller V60 brewer, you probably wouldn't expect to see this happen in that short of amount of time. You probably would expect to see it happen closer to about 3 to 4 minutes. All right, so we're gonna pour it to 580 here. Pretty aggressively. $5.50, excuse me. And then we'll put the last 130 grams here on the last pour. Again, we're gonna give this just another tiny swirl just to help the process along. As you can see, coffee is dripping down, filling up. It's one thing with these Chemex V60 brewers. If you don't have one of these little clips on the funnel, you can get an airlock in here from time to time where it will not allow the coffee to flow. Because you're not getting air that's coming out of the bottom of the chamber, so it can be a problem. So we're almost 4 minutes now. Perfect timing, right on about 5 to 6 minutes. So when you're doing these pour over coffees, the key to a good extraction is a flat bed at the end. So that's how you know you've gotten a good extraction out. And the bed's looking nice and flat for now. Alright, and this will be our final pour up to 680. We'll allow this water to make its way through our grounds. Looking good. All right, almost done. Thanks for being here, folks. If you're interested in coffee videos, espresso, or Chemex, anything of the sort. I'm absolutely looking to expand my coffee content. I have enjoyed it thus far. Enjoy making videos of all types. I'm an avid hobbyist. Coffee just happens to be my most recent passion. So thanks for being here. While that's finishing up, we'll go ahead and get some cups ready. Hope we don't have any in there. Couple of cups. All right, almost done. Plan on doing these at least on the weekends. It's easy for me to do the lives. I usually do edit some shorts and things like that, but I find that having the live video up, it reaches a certain audience. So there's folks who have been in here today who may not have normally found the channel under normal circumstances. So happy to try something new out and get some more folks in to check out what we're doing here. And it's almost time to drink some delicious coffee. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited. I want to give this another 30 seconds just to finish the extraction. So that'll make a total time from bloom to cup about 6.5 minutes. We're just getting the final drops out now, so about 15 more seconds. Thanks again for being here, folks. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you stopping in and taking a look at what we're doing over here. All right, the final countdown. There it is. All right, so very simply, we'll just go ahead and grab our grounds here. Drop them right in the trash. Oh, man, this coffee smells so delicious. Been making espresso with this coffee, but yesterday was my first pour over, and it is beautiful. It's a light roast. Not sure if you can see that color. It's beautiful. It's almost reddish in color. It's very, very lovely. So we'll go ahead and give this a nice swirl. And no sediment, no fines, just a nice, clean, beautiful looking cup of coffee. Smells delicious. Tastes even better. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate your time, folks. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.